Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Tuesdays with Paula. Again, this is round two. We're doing a do-over. We just posted a Facebook Live about angels, and it disappeared. So I don't know what that's
Magically.
about. Yes, don't know what that's about, but we decided to do it again. So here we are. This is my guest, Cate Allen. Some
Hi.
of you may have seen her from a while back. She's filled with knowledge and information about different healing techniques and angels, and she is an actress who is really moving up quickly in her field. You're going to be seeing her on the big screen very soon. All right, so I'm Paula K Bronte, and this is Tuesdays with Paula, and I'm a master rapid eye technician. And today we have invited our angels to join us for this conversation. And we're talking about angels today for a couple of reasons. The first one of which, Marla Bosco is a rapid eye technician, and she was working with someone for a while, a client and a dear friend who passed. And within 3 days of her passing, Marla heard, she was just driving along, not thinking about anything, and she heard this person, her voice, inside of herself, say very clearly, "Your rapid eye work is angel work of the highest order." Rapid eye technology is angel work of the highest order. What a wonderful honor to receive that message from the higher realms. So I was thinking about that, and then I talked to Cate a while later, and I said, "What do you want to talk about Tuesday?" And she said, "Let's talk about angels." So I thought, okay, that's definitely on the radar. They want to be talked about today. One of the first things I'd like to explain to those of you who have been confused about angels or you don't think that they exist, Cate has done a bit of studying about them.
Yeah.
She'll tell you quite a bit about it. But the point of reference that I use to help understand angels is airplanes. Okay, so if an airplane is parked, landed, you can see the propellers very clearly, no problem, right? That engine starts, the propellers start moving, and they go at such a fast, high rate that the naked eye pretty much can't see them. They know something's happening, but you can't see the individual propellers. But they're there. So the angelic realm and those great beings of light that we call angels vibrate at such a high, fast rate that our optical nerve, our human system of sight and vision just isn't made to see that high of a vibration. Now, some people do, especially children, because they don't, and there's a lot of reasons, right? What we're taught is that as children we come in very pure, and the sixth chakra, right, the center here that allows us to see beyond the physical 3D is very clear and open, so children will often see them. There's lots of stories about that. But as we grow older, we get covered up with all kinds of stuff and our perceptions of this world, and we begin to not see them so clearly or connect with them. However, they are there. They're just vibrating at a rate that we're not able to see, but we can feel them. If we connect and we talk and we love them, they love nothing more than to come in and be our companions and orchestrate things for us so that we can feel joyful and high. Okay, Cate, you're on.
Okay, a little bit about me. My name is Cate Allen. I actually studied about angels for about 6 years in my early 20s. I had some different experiences and I wanted to understand it better. And I studied everything in scriptures, and then I went beyond that. I read everything on the market that I could find regarding angels. Mostly I wanted to focus on good angels because although both exist, I prefer the good ones, the ones that are helpful and the ones that really have your best interest in mind. So I found in scriptures there's about 7 different types of angels, ranging from guardian angels, people who have not been born yet, those who have passed on, transfigured, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of different types, and each different type of angel, they have a different right and order. So they have different jobs or responsibilities, to put it in the simplest terms. And then I went on and I've read lots of other books, and there are even more angels than what I could find through my discovery in my research of studying them in the scriptures. So one of my favorite kinds to talk about is guardian angels, because every person on this planet is born with at least one guardian angel. And so that means every single person watching this, every single person walking, living, breathing, they have at least one guardian angel, if not multiples. And who are these people? These people are your relatives, whether it be someone who's recently passed.
Sometimes.
A lot of times it's usually your ancestors or progenitors. So it's either someone in your family base. So your progenitors meaning your children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. But their job is essentially to help you out. It is to warn you, it is to protect you, and then anything that you ask that they're there to help out with. So this can be simple things from help me to have a really great day, to help me to find a parking space. It can be something very simple like along those lines, or it can be something much larger too. And you can always ask for your angels to go before you and prepare the way for you to do whatever it is that you're here to do. But the key thing with this is asking. Now, you can ask them directly. Some people don't feel comfortable doing that, and that's okay. So you can talk to whatever you deem is your higher self, God, divinity, Buddha, however if you want to work through that way, you can do that as well, to talk to your angels too.
So we have the power to influence the vibration globally. And speaking and asking the angels to not only help you with your own personal stuff, but to also ask if there's something political going on, or there's war, or there's famine, there's something that comes to your attention. Rather than feeling helpless or getting angry or reacting or going into fear, one of the things we can do is ask our angels, guardian angels, those that are with us always, the ones that guide us, any angels we can call on, angels of peace, angels of supply, angels of love, angels of healing, to go to that particular person or to go to that place. I used to do a meditation, and I would love to start this class again. If anybody's interested, email me for this, where we project our consciousness out into the universe, and we join the angels, and we look down at the planet Earth and find points on the planet Earth that need to be raised vibrationally, and then we send that energy there. So the angels, it's limitless, and we talk often about what our purpose is, right? I have people come in for rapid eye sessions that are unfulfilled. They're looking for their purpose. My purpose is unfulfilled. They're restless. And the fact is that we only have one purpose. As human beings, there's only one purpose, and that is to be love, period. Now, the individuation of that expression is how we do that. Sometimes we do it through our work, sometimes we do it with our families. There's limitless ways that we can be love. But that's the only purpose we really have. And the angels, my understanding and my humble understanding of this is that their purpose is to help us fulfill our purpose, to be love. So when we ask for help, whether we're struggling or we're just looking for a parking spot, and they orchestrate that and they come in and they make it easy and they do it for us, they're supporting our purpose because it will raise our vibration in the moment. It makes life easier. Anything that's going to make life easier and help us feel better helps us become more clear, open channels for love. And that means that they're fulfilling their job. And I often see them in my mind's eye with their hands behind their back, like they're tied. They cannot help us if we don't ask. Just as Kate said, we have to ask. That there's no intrusion.
It's their job.
Yeah.
And to ask out loud is one of the key things. Because one of the key things too is they come and talk to us or try to talk to us, especially in those early morning waking hours and right before we go to sleep.
Right.
And, there's this book called Cate Theology by Paula K Bronte, and he talks about this, and he says, it is in these waking moments that they come to you to warn you of danger, to express their unwanted love for you and protection, and how they ultimately just want the best for you. Yeah. And they are there to assist you in bringing about good and love and fulfilling your mission here on Earth.
That's right. That's right, exactly. And when you were talking, there was something went to my mind I wanted to say. It'll come back. Okay, angels, bring it back to me. The idea that they have any judgment of any kind is really actually absurd. So if you got that judgment, just let it go, because they don't register good and bad. They're so far beyond the human experience and the human vibration that what we consider good and bad is completely non-existent in the higher realms. And it's a matter of vibration, right? We vibrate at a pretty heavy, dense level here, 3D. We've got this solid body. But these beings of light vibrate much more highly and more clearly. And our little petty problems and worries and fears don't even exist there. All they do want for us is absolutely the very best. And so they're here for us in every way. And if you don't know what you want, right? She's saying ask for what you want. Sometimes we don't know what the hell we want, right? We can just ask them to help you know what to want. What's the highest and best thing for me? Just make it clear. And something will come. Somebody will say something and you'll know. It's not like you'll say, oh, that's interesting. You'll hear it. There'll be something in you that says, oh, my angel just answered that for me. So
that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Because especially in those waking moments, a lot of times you'll have impressions or thoughts that come to you and you feel it and you're like, oh gosh, there's something there. I mean, I can tell you point blank, this morning I woke up and I was like, oh gosh, I'm wide awake. And we have a mutual friend, Diane, and she had said, Kate, if you keep waking up at 2, 3 a.m., this is obviously an opportunity where God needs to talk to you or your angels need to talk to you, and you're not making enough time during the day. So they're going to wake you up in the middle of the night and ask you to do something.
My turn, my time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so with that, again, this morning I was awoken, and I had very clear information of what I needed to do, and I had to write a couple of messages. And so I pulled out my laptop. I looked at the time. It was 3:33 a.m. and I thought, oh, how funny. And then
3:33.
And so then I asked, God, what would you like me to say? Angels, what would you like me to say? And so I wrote the message, and I said, okay, I feel like this is the best thing, so I'm going to go ahead and send it. Are there any changes? And so I just kind of talked to him like that, and I felt good about it, so I sent it.
Yeah. I want to take a second. Dan Joseph from North Wales has joined us. Hi, Dan. Thank you. Across the world, don't you love technology, even if it disappears your first post? One of the beautiful things about what Kate was just saying is that when we're aware and we listen, miracles can happen.
Literally.
Yeah.
Not just figuratively.
That's right. Right. And we're going to take a moment and call in a number of angels. One of the things I write about in my book, Call to Mastery, Living the Art of Ascension, which you will be hearing about very soon. It's going to become an ebook. I talk about how to become close to the ascended masters. And the very same formula applies to angels. It's really, imagine that you just made a new best friend. They're not new, but to you they are. What are you going to do? You're going to listen to them. You'll contact them. You'll pay attention to them. Right? Mm-hmm. You'll talk to them. You foster the relationship. And it doesn't take much, right? Because it's such a vibratory shift in your field when you start connecting with the higher realms that it's a fast and very fulfilling friendship. And they're our companions. And the more we acknowledge them as companions, the more fun it gets to be. Okay.
Well, and the part that's cool too, you can even ask for them to help them know that they're there. You can say, can you please
show yourself to me?
Can you please help me to feel you? Can you please help me to know who you are? Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times they are family members who've passed on. Mm-hmm. And you can have these amazing spiritual experiences where it's something so sacred to you, and wow, not only am I loved, but I am so grateful to have this experience that they're helping me along the way. And that's one of the things, I do ask for help. I do ask for things. And then I come back and I'm like, thank you so much. You guys are helping me out,
And so often, one of the ways, first of all, you can feel it, right? Because you're just like when you're standing next to that propeller I talked about. You may not see it, but if you're close to an airplane propeller, you're going to feel, right, the kinetic energy from it. Same thing. When you start acknowledging the angels and the veils of this humanness start to drop and the angels can come closer, you feel them physically and you'll know that they're the ones answering it. Another way you know is that it happens so serendipitously. It can be so unusual. You say, how did that happen? And then you'll know, oh, that's how it happened. They have a great sense of humor also. You'll find after you start working with them for a while that it can be very, very fun and funny how they deliver their messages and support you.
Well, and the thing is, too, you can ask for really simple things. Last year, I went and stayed with a good friend in Los Angeles, and I was taking some classes down there. Parking at night, impossible. Mm-hmm. Where I'm parking like 10 blocks away and walking away. So literally, I would ask my angels and say, angels, please help me to find a parking space close to her place So I'm not walking late at night at 11 p.m. 10 blocks away. And literally, things would magically appear. And I would just say, thank you so much. Because for me, it just helped make my life easier. But things from that to getting to an appointment to asking them to go before you if you have a big interview or if you're meeting with a client, anything.
Right.
I just ask for help knowing that they have my best interest in mind and they want the best for me. So, of course, they're going to help me. But I ask out loud.
Yeah. Yes.
And, yeah.
Verbalizing, saying anything
Yeah.
out loud really helps, makes a difference. There's something that magical that happens when we do two things. We speak our request and our sacred acknowledgement of higher beings when we speak it out loud, and when we write it. Right? It's like the ink becomes magical. So speaking and writing are two ways that really do help. We get it out of our head, right? We can say it in our head, but it's like stuck in this cave we call our skull. When you say it, there's a vibrational thing that happens, and it helps make the connection much easier. Books. Okay. Before we do our acknowledgement of our angels who are with us now, as we can feel them so clearly. Before I forget, I want to mention books. Cate had mentioned books. There are two people. We know Doreen Virtue is quite an angel expert. And guardian angels, right, Cate's favorite.
Yeah.
There is a book called Angels in My Hair by, I think it's, I can't remember her name, and I didn't look it up before. Anyway, Angels in My Hair, easy enough to find. She wrote 2 books. And she was from Ireland, and she saw them as a child, just like we mentioned many of us do. And she was able to keep that 6th chakra open, her vision, and she still sees them to this day. And she's on the circuit, and she wrote these books, and they're very clear, straightforward, easy to read, and there's stories talking about people's guardian angels. And if you have any doubts about angels, I would highly recommend reading Angels in My Hair, because it could very well change your whole reference for their existence.
Exactly, and there's different types of angels too, as Paula has mentioned. I mean, I mentioned,
we're going to call them.
guardian angels, archangels, sentinels.
The warriors, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, so let's close our eyes. I'm going to invite you to really feel into this experience. If you've never felt angels before, use this as an opportunity to make that first connection.
How do people know if they're feeling angels?
It could be different for everyone. I can only talk from my experience, is that my heart feels more open. I have this sense of peace and delight.
So just like a happiness where,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And love. I feel more connected to all things. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so let's uncross our legs, drop our shoulders, drop your face, just let your face relax. Take a breath, and let's drop down into the heart. Angels speak heart. This is the place from which we can most easily access them. So drop down into your heart. Literally, with the next breath, bring your attention right down to your chest center. And bring to mind someone or something that you love and appreciate unconditionally. No stories, just pure love and appreciation. And let your heart, your chest, fill with that sense of love and appreciation. Now we radiate that love through your body and out all around you. Just breathe and let that pure appreciation and love just easily flow all around you. And now we intend that this love and appreciation flow out to the angelic realm. And we call forth and welcome and acknowledge all of the angels that are always with us. The angels that guide and guard us. We call on the angels of love to fill us with that pure love that transcends all human concept. We call forth the angels of peace for all of us who are in conflict, in war with ourselves or others. angels of peace, angels of peace. We call in the angels of supply to dissolve and consume all of the human illusion of any lack or limitation. Angels of supply, angels of supply. We call forth the angels of protection to protect us from our own thought forms, our own creations that no longer serve, and those of others. Angels of protection, angels of protection. Angels of joy. We ask that you raise the vibration for each of us who are listening to this, who are with you now. That you bring us into a state of pure joy that radiates from each of us, fills the planet. We ask that in this moment, we access all the power needed for the angels of joy to hear us and raise the vibration and the light of our beloved Mother Earth and everyone on it. We ask for the angels of transformation to transform each of us so that we are a tool for the evolution of this planet as we move into the next level of being. Angels of joy, angels of joy, angels of transformation, angels of transformation. We call on all of you, and we thank you. We thank you for your presence with us, for your pure love. We thank you for your radiation through us as we lift each other into a greater state of being. We ask that you go ahead of each of us, clear our way, and bring us into a state of self-love so that we may come to love ourselves as you love us. And bring all of humanity into the higher realms. We thank you for your presence with us and your pure love. And we ask that you help all of us to come to know you more clearly and to hold you dearly within ourselves. We thank you, so be it. Now just notice how you feel in this moment. Is it any different than when we started? Just identify that for yourself. And I would invite you, Kate is going to be kind enough to put this on my YouTube channel. So I would invite you, if that touched you in any way, to listen to it several times and then begin to create your own way of connecting with them. Okay. All right. Where do we go from here?
I think it'd be nice to share a couple of experiences that you've had with angels, because for me it's something that's very sacred, and I'm so grateful for that. It's as Paula mentioned, I'm an actress. I go to Los Angeles, and in one particular situation I had 3 auditions in one day, which A, is very unusual, but B, I had one in Burbank, one in Los Angeles, and one in Irvine. So quite a long distance of driving. And you may think, well, how is that even possible to go to 3 auditions in one day? I talked to God, and I talked to my angels, and I asked them to clear the freeway and somehow make this possible. And not only did they make it possible, but I also booked the work. And so it's one of those things, I talk a lot in my car to God, to my angels, and I'm just so grateful. It may seem like something so simple, but I'm so grateful that I can talk to them, and they respond, and they listen, and they care, and they ultimately want the best for me and want my success. And so even though sometimes, you can't feel them and you may not see them, they're there, and by talking to them, they're working 24/7. That's their job, to help you out, to help you so you can go and do what you need to do in this life, and to be good, and to be love, and to be kind, and they're there to help you with all of that.
Yeah. And there, you reminded me of another great story. We had a rapid eye session,
Yeah.
and she was really wanting. We're working on her career, and she was just. I forget what the specifics were, but I know we called in the angels and we gave it to them and said, okay, make sure this happens. And the very next day...
Oh my goodness, I was ecstatic.
Yeah, she called me from the car, and it was this happened and that happened. She booked this job and she booked that job, and this other person called her, and it was one of the most successful days she's had in her pursuit of
it was just
acting.
pretty phenomenal, because literally a casting director called me out of nowhere, and I directly booked a role on a major television network. And it was honestly, like, I can't even tell you the gratitude. Even thinking about it now, I am just so grateful, because I realize, you know, this isn't just about me. It's one of the things that I think is so important in acting for me, is to be able to share my love for this, and that when I'm performing in a role, that people can relate to it, and they can connect to it, and they can feel that, and they can feel the love that I have.
Yeah. Right.
Not only for this character, but for them as the audience. And so it gave me the opportunity to do.
Are we back?
Yeah, we
We're
are.
having some Wi-Fi issues. I hope this posts and it's okay. I remember that day, and now I'm remembering what it was. One of the things that made it so powerful is that what we did was we asked the angels to come in and use Cate as a vehicle to radiate their love and their light, so that everyone that sees her, every time she's on the screen, even when she goes for an audition, that she's radiating such power and light that it uplifts everyone. So it was an offering of Cate as a vehicle for light. And when we do that, I mean, who's the first one that gets the benefit, right? Us. And it just feels good. It feels great to radiate that kind of light. So when you're calling in the angels and you offer yourself to them as a point of light on this planet, man, things are going to happen. And you're going to feel great, because they're right there flowing light through you. And you are never alone. You're never alone. That's the other thing that comes from really bringing them in as your companion, really recognizing that we are not in this by ourselves. There really are those beings that vibrate so high we can't see them, so we tend to forget about them, but they are more real than a lot of the illusions we've created in this silly world sometimes. And I tell the story, it's just kind of a funny, silly one. Many years ago, should I tell that one again? Castaway, the movie Castaway came out, and my husband at the time and I went to see it, and it was Tom Hanks, some of you may know, and he was like devastated because he's cast away on this island by himself. And at that point, I was just really high in the angelic realm. They were with me so much, and I knew I was never alone. And so he's like really devastated on this big screen, and I say real out loud, everybody hears me in the theater, but you're not alone. My husband was devastated, and you know, I of course it didn't do any good to Tom, but it was just kind of funny how we can really come to know that so clearly, that it can just come out like that, and you know, at a time like that.
Exactly. And the other part that's cool is, like, if you're in a dire circumstance, if you're really struggling, anything, just ask. All you have to do is ask and say, angels, I just want to know if you're here. Can you show me love? Can you show me appreciation? Can you show me kindness? Can you bring this to me so I can experience this?
And test them, you know, to say, prove to me you're real. Because there's lots of people watching that probably think we're crazy. Just ask them, say, prove that you exist. You know, show me that. I've had clients do that. And, you know, they'll ask for some really obscure thing to just show up in their life. And sure enough, within 3 days, it happens. I've had so many stories of people doing that. Just like, you know, something, somebody asked to see I don't know what it was. I can't remember. Something that he would never normally see. And it showed up behind his desk. It had fallen, you know. And yeah, so just don't worry about not putting them to the test. It's not a problem.
And so the thing is, like, some of the tools that we've taught, or at least Paula has taught today, is, first of all, angels do exist. Second of all, you have a guardian angel. You have at least one, if not multiples. Third, talk to him. Just ask. Just say, please, and ask out loud. Say, please, I want to know who you are. Please show yourself in some way that I can relate. Help me to feel it. Help me to know it. Help me to see it. Help me to understand it. And if you don't feel comfortable talking to them directly, you can talk to your higher being. You can talk to God. You can talk to your higher self. You can talk to Buddha. whoever you deem is your higher self, divinity, ask them and say, you could say, God, please show me who my angels are. Please help me to experience this, because I would really like this to be a part of my life.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you can call on them for others. You can call on the angels that guide and guard your loved ones or your friends, anyone that you know is suffering, and call help for someone
Like
else.
the motorcycle.
It's very powerful. Yeah. All right. I'll tell the motorcycle story and then we'll close up. So I'm on the freeway the other day, and there's a motorcycle next to me, going, what are we going, 70, 80, and he was clearly dressed to go to work, but he's on one of those smaller bikes, like a bullet bike, not a big sturdy bike. And I looked over and I thought, that's dangerous. And I thought, oh, don't be sending him that message. He doesn't need that. So I immediately went to my angels and I just started calling forth protection for him. I flooded him with light and protection, and I asked the angels to wrap their wings of protection around him. And I really felt it, and he's staying right there next to me. And the minute I finished saying, okay, beloved angels, wrap your wings of protection around him, I finished the sentence and boom, he took his hands off the handlebar and he put his arms out. He spread his wings, 70 miles an hour on the freeway, for a couple of seconds, and then he started to wobble and he put it back on. And I just thought, oh, I bet that felt good. Like, I didn't even get it. And like a second later, I was clearly told, you asked for that. That was us, silly. So a lot of times we'll ask for something we don't even know that it's the angels, but they'll tell you. They'll let you know. Like, give me the credit for that. We did that. You asked, and there it was. And it just felt fabulous to see how it worked. And Carolyn Mace tells an amazing story about an accident. I wish I could remember all the details of it. It's been years. Many of you may know Carolyn Mace. She's a very famous speaker and author. She's a medical intuitive, and anyway, she's fantastic. And she told a story about an accident she was in once in traffic, and she went ahead to the people in the accident, and she asked the angels to help that person and to save them, and really prayed for them. And a few weeks later, she gets a knock on her door. Mm-hmm. And it was a stranger, and the woman had flowers, and she gave her flowers, and she said, I want to thank you for saving my life. I had an accident a few weeks ago, and I actually died and left my body, and the angels were with me, and they showed me a license plate number, and I was able to track the license plate, and it was yours, and you clearly prayed for me, and the angels heard you.
I love that, because the thing is, too, angels can minister to you for your healing as well. Mm-hmm. And if you read through scriptures, you can read about this and how this happens, and it is something that is very real. And it's not to say that you ignore medical things that your doctor is giving you, but you ask for it hand in hand. That's right. What I've done, especially not just in behalf of myself, but in behalf of others I care for.
Whenever I'm having any kind of a medical procedure or going to anyone like that, I always ask the angels of the practitioner, the doctor, whoever it is, to come in and guide the doctor so that I get the highest and best treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's endless ways, and when you start connecting and you start vibrating at that rate and you have that friendship, you have that companionship with them, you'll get messages, and you'll know exactly how to connect with them and help them help you serve your purpose in this life of just being joyful and fun. The best way to connect with them, through your heart, having fun. They love fun and joy and happiness.
Well, one of the things I was going to say is, you mentioned impressions. You can get these impressions to do things, and you may think, well, how do I know if it comes from an angel or not, or if it's coming from divinity? It's always
or if
good.
It's just my own junk.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's always something good. It's always something that's going to benefit someone. Mm-hmm. And so...
But sometimes we think, oh, really? Is that going to work? And we don't trust it. It's like, no, all right, go down this road. No, I have to get to work on this road because there's no traffic. No, go down this street. And if we listen, if we begin to trust those impressions, there'll always be a good reason. There'll be something there that we didn't know was going to show up for us. You're
exactly.
Right. Hear the impressions and trust them, and they will always be good.
Exactly. Be good. I mean, it's like I told you, this morning I was awoken, and I knew I had to write this message. I have no idea how it'll be received. I have no idea if I'll hear anything back. But I know this. I know I felt a very strong impression, and it was important to do. And so I've found throughout my life, when I have those impressions, it's just best to do them right away and then just move forward. It's like, oh, I did that. Thanks so much for the heads up. Now moving on.
Yes, that's an important key. I remember Abraham Hicks talking about that too. When you have a thought to do something, you do it in that moment. If you possibly can, do it in that moment. Because the moment passes and all of the pieces change.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's always something good. It's never something mean or illegal or
That's right.
That's not how angels work.
Yeah, right.
Angels of light, God, everything, they're about bringing about the greater purpose of mankind, bringing about love, goodness, happiness, joy, peace, all that good stuff that we all love feeling, and fun too.
Yeah. They can give it to us. They can help us find it and orchestrate. That's what I use the word orchestrate. I got that one from Carol Tuttle. Just ask them to orchestrate my day, orchestrate that appointment. Help me to get to work on time.
Bring the people into my life.
Yes, exactly. Bring those people to me that will most help me radiate the light that I'm here to presence. And they can orchestrate time. Time is an easy one for the angelic realm to manipulate because it doesn't really exist anyway, which is a whole nother story. But, if you're running late or there's a time issue, just ask the angels to, orchestrate the time, take care of the time, get me there on time.
Go before me and help make everything work out.
Yeah. It's really, it gets to be pretty easy after a while. It's just a matter of learning it and trusting it. And again, if you don't know them and you haven't connected and you doubt this, put them to the test. Spend a couple of days asking them to show you something and have it specific. Okay. All right. If you're really there, guys, then bring me, I don't know, bring me a piece of blue glass.
Or you can even say, help me to know that you're here in a way that I can feel it and know it. And so a lot of times it'll speak to your heart. And when I say speak to your heart, that's where you, depending upon the person, it's something where there's a peace, there's a joy, there's a stillness, there's a calmness. There is no fear. There is no doubt. That is not how they operate. They operate in the realm of goodness, happiness, joy, peace, love, kindness, generosity,
appreciation. So all these
gratitude.
things Kate's mentioning are a high vibratory experience, right? There are feelings and emotions that vibrate at a very high rate. And so it just makes sense, right? The angelic realm vibrates much higher than this dense, heavy physical realm. Yeah. So anything that comes from them is going to be of the higher vibration. And appreciation is a gateway. Appreciation vibrates at such a high rate that when we start appreciating anything in our lives, no matter how big or small, it really melts away some of the veils that can keep us from connecting with them. So the higher your level and awareness of appreciation in your life, the easier it is for you to connect with them, and the easier it is for them to orchestrate things for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Any last words?
When I was thinking of it, I thought, for anyone who does enjoy Scripture, Galatians, when Paul is teaching, he talks about this. He talks about, it's love unfeigned, it's peace, it's joy, when you are feeling those gifts.
Right. And something I did want to mention, I mentioned it the first time around today. There is a woman I know, her name is Jan Malacher, who writes for Archangel Michael. I've heard and seen a lot of people do angel writing and readings, and she is so right on.
She's in
tune.
It's
pretty amazing what can come through her. And so we just ask her a question, and Archangel Michael, she'll write it, and she doesn't quite know what she's writing, but when it's done, it's always right on. So if anyone would like to have a reading with Jan Malacher, just email me, Paula K Bronte @gmail. You can message me your email as well, but it's probably easier just send me an email and I can send you Jan's information. And also remember that Rapid Eye technology, we got it right from the higher realms, is angel work of the highest order. So if you would like to experience Rapid Eye and just start to feel better, then please give me an email, give me a call. And next week we are going to talk about feeling okay. Because we do talk about joy and all these higher vibration things. However, sometimes it's hard to maintain
It's hard
that.
to get, and sometimes it's hard to even get that.
Right.
If you're in a rough go and you're like, I don't even know how to get to joy. I just want to get from sadness to out of sadness.
To okay. Yeah. So next week we are going to talk about how to just feel okay again and maintain that. Get a nice steady flow of okayness, because that can be okay. And then from there, we can start working up. Okay. thank you so much for your time and attention. I see a number of you came in the second time around too, so thank you so much. And may the angels be with you and make themselves known to you and become your very best friends. Thank you, Kate, very much for joining us. I love having you. She's such a light spirit. Okay. Bless you all, and I will see you next week.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.